Hi guys, how you doing? Okay, don't mind my hair. I'm really trying very hard to get my afro going here. Like my hair, it's getting there. It's getting thicker and stronger and defying gravity like the rest of your people's afros. So I'm getting excited. But back to the point. So the reason for this video is that I just want to caution you and also just encourage someone that is going through a tough time and you're looking at other people's journeys, particularly in this info era we are on, where everybody seems to be living this blissful life that is free of problems, free of challenges. Everybody's just slaying on the gram and everybody's life just looks perfect. Only your life looks like a misery, or only your life looks like it's something that requires work. Let me tell you something. Very few people in this particular time that we are in are able to be honest and truthful about where they are, what they are doing. The rest of them are posing for the gram. So don't you dare take the people who are posing and compare them to the real life that you are actually living. Your life is not a rehearsal, it's a real deal. You are living it. The pains that you are going through are part of the journey. And don't you dare despise your own journey based on the pictures that you see, and yet you do not know what goes on behind the scenes. I'll just make an example of my life. For example, when you see me doing all this traveling up and down, you don't know what goes on behind the scenes in my family. Like, have you ever stopped to ask, how does my family feel? How does my husband feel? How do my children feel? Because all that is part of my life. So for me to get to a point where I'm able to do these things, I've had to go through stages, pains. My children had to go through pains of learning that mother loves us, mommy loves us, but she is not also our source of happiness. She loves us, but she is not always going to be here. Why? Because mommy has her own life to live as well. As much as she loves us, she's got other things, other purposes that she must fulfill that have nothing to do with motherhood. Because motherhood is a big part of my life, but it's not the only one. My husband has had to learn that as much as I love him and as much as he loves me, and we are literally joined on the hip, it's not a permanent thing. Like, there are times where we each individually have to go and do stuff that works for us individually. Does that mean we agree on everything that happens every day? No. Do you think when I first moved to China, everybody was happy and excited that, hey, your mama is moving to China? Yes, my wife is moving to China. I'm just going to walk her to the airport and be happy about it. No, that's not what happens. You go through stages. People feel angry, sad. People feel abandoned. People feel all kinds of pains because they are thinking that and that's society conditions us and tells us that when you found this person, whether it be your mother, your sister, your brother, they must always be here to fulfill a specific purpose for you so that you can be happy. And when the people say, excuse me, I have a life to live for myself, doesn't sound so good, right? Not for anybody. Not for the children, not for the husband, not even for the siblings. Some of the people resent you for living your own life, for deciding that you are no longer playing the role of making them happy. You are also playing the role of living your life, because that is your ultimate purpose. So when you look at people's lives and you assume that everybody's just cruising through this life thing and they're not going through pains, honey, you are fooling yourself, and you are going to frustrate yourself over things that really don't even exist. People go through stages. There are moments of crying between husbands and wives and children and siblings and everybody, parents, everyone concerned. There are moments of pain as everybody tries to find out who they are, what their core is, what their center is, away from each other. Yes, we are a unit because we are a family, but we are also individuals, and each of us must find their own purpose and live for their own purpose. Do what they are here on earth to do without being stopped by others who have assumed that you are there to just live to make them happy all the time. So I get like questions like, so, oh, you are so, no, not even questions, comments like, you're so lucky that your husband allows you. First of all, my husband, bless his soul, he cannot allow or disallow me to do anything. Why? Because I'm 40 years old. I'm a grown ass woman, right? I have a relationship with him, and the relationship is really not based on anybody controlling or putting one person in jail. It's not a relationship of capturing each other, right? I wouldn't do that for him. If he has a purpose that he has to live, and I mean, it has happened so many years. My husband, for the longest time, did not live at home. He worked away from home. He would come home on the weekends or sometime during the week if he could, and sometimes he's in and he's out because he has work to do. He had a career that he had to build. There was stuff that he had to do personally to fulfill himself, to fulfill his role, his own purpose on earth. And it was never and will never be for me to say, no, you cannot do this. And did it feel easy? No. Being at home, 4 children, shunting them up and down, taking them, the shuttle, you taking this one there, this one wants to go there, this one wants to go to that spot, that one wants to do. Sometimes it felt lonely, sad, and frustrating. Sometimes I would get angry with him and wish he could be here doing this with me. But guess what? That wasn't the time. So sometimes there are things that somebody else has to do, and you won't necessarily be happy with what he's doing, but the person has to do what they need to do for themselves, for their own personal growth. So that is life. And once you accept that, here's the thing about it. You cannot be the person that only receives acceptance from other people, where people accept your purpose, but when it's your turn to actually accept other people's purposes and support them on their journey, you become the selfish one. It doesn't work that way. And happiness, once you found your core, your center for your happiness allows you the wisdom. I say the wisdom to let other people be, to let other people walk their journeys, and you learn to not rush them because you have found your core. You become patient and you become kind with other people who are battling to find what their journeys are. But what you also learn to not tolerate are people trying to capture your thoughts, people trying to pin you down, people trying to write a script for your life, because people will do that. Society does that. People come to you and they try to write scripts according to what they know, and they expect you to just waltz into the script and start acting as they expect you to. And when you don't do that, people start labeling you, people start spreading rumors, people start doing things and all that nonsense. I am here to tell you that all of that doesn't matter, because when you find your core, you are able to silence the external noises, and you live your truth in such a way that those who see you can learn and grow from your pains, because you go through your pains, and sometimes publicly in a raw manner, because once you found your happiness, you live the truth. You are unable to lie about your life. It is what it is. I mean, in my personal journey, I have had children. I mean, dealing with teens, let me tell you something. Teens have their own minds, right? They have their own way of seeing things. And when we moved from home, my children were throwing their toys out of the courts because they have a specific life that they are used to. They have their own friends that they had built, and it felt like I'm just like pulling the rug from under their feet, and they were angry. But the same children, super duper happy as we speak, right? Why? Because they allowed themselves time to learn and grow and to find their feet, and that's part of the journey. You go through all those things. Everybody takes their time to find themselves, to find their purpose, to find their journey, and to stand on their own 2 feet. And it sometimes. Okay, so as I was saying, the same thing goes for the spouses. No husband in the universe, and no matter how sweet he is, Very few, if they do exist, and I have never met him because mine is not like that, will just walk you freely and excitedly to your own destiny, because they have also been conditioned to believe that you are here to just make them happy. You are here to dance to their tune. You are here to ensure that they are taken care of. And when you say, hey, Buster, actually, no, I'm here to live my life and you just happen to be part of my journey, but a part of my journey, not the entire journey. And that doesn't mean I don't love you as much as I have always said I do, or I love you any less, or whatever. But I also have a life of my own to live, and I will not stop living it because you came into my life. What happens here is you try and articulate that through actions, through words, and sometimes words go over people's heads, and you also not hearing other people's pains and their concerns and all that. It happens. It's part of the journey, but that must happen. All those things must happen. Don't skip any stage of your life. Go through all the pains, because the pains lead you to your happiness. The pains lead you to the truth. And once you are able to get to your truth and be able to share your truth with the people in your life, the people outside your life then learn to watch your truth, either grow from it or despise it. It's up to them. But either way, it doesn't shake you, and it doesn't change your truth, and it doesn't change who you are. You remain happy, you remain content, and you remain okay with walking in your truth, even if people disagree with it. So I'm just here to encourage you on this Monday that whatever it is that you are going through, don't you dare base it on people that are pretending to live this life that is free of challenges, people pretending that there is a script that must be followed. Whatever it is that you want to do, do what works for you, because only you must write the script of your own journey. Other people can add value and you can take what works, but whatever doesn't work for you, you are not obliged to take it. You are not obliged to conform to anybody's standards. You have a personal, individual journey and purpose that you are walking, and walk in it without fear, without shame, and without guilt, and without trying to compare with anybody else. That is what I'm here to tell you today. That whatever it is that you are going through, know that it is okay, and that you are going through. Know that it all comes to pass, never to stay. It all comes to pass, and you are going through. You are going through. It's going to be okay, all right? It's going to be okay. Trust me. Trust the purpose and trust the process. Always trust the process. Forget the external noises. Trust the process.